Today we're going to be doing something very cool. Unboxing an Hitachi VIP 2000 CED video disc player from 1983. It's not a true unboxing. As you can see, the box has already been opened, but there's a really cool story behind this, and I want to tell it to you real quick before we do this. The seller reached out to me and told me they own a liquidation company, and they were hired to go in, and this old, he told me it was a radio store, so I don't know what all they sold. And he said in a back office in a corner, this was just laying on the floor, forgotten by time. There was also a bunch of sealed video discs, and that's how I met him, because I purchased one of them on an online auction site. And he asked me if I was interested, and I said, yeah, I would definitely be interested, especially if this is, never been used. So, as you can tell, like I said, it had already been opened, and I don't think it's unused. This would probably have plastic around it. The styrofoam's ripped there. There would probably be a manual on top here. Now it might be underneath. I haven't checked yet. One thing that's interesting, it did come with this remote control. It's a wired remote control. We'll get to that a little bit later. But from what I can tell online, this was optional. This was an optional purchase. So just the fact that it's included in the box, I'm thinking that it has been used, and it might have been some sort of floor model or display model. If you look here, there's a $20 price tag on here. So at one point they might have been trying just to get rid of it, and it didn't sell. And so they just stored it in the back and completely forgot about it. So for now, I'm gonna take the remote control out. So as you can see, it's a nice long cord. And this, of course, is going to plug in somewhere on this player, and you have all kinds of functionality. So I'm not sure why they didn't just go with the standard IR remote, but this is what they offered. So we're going to set that aside. On top here, this tells you how to prepare it to play. There's a shipping screw and spacer that must be removed, and it says to save it. So there's some instructions. So that'll be another indicator. If we get in here and we see that that's never been removed, or we need to remove it, then maybe it has never been played. So we'll set that off to the side. Lift it up out of the box. Okay, so underneath we do have some manuals and stuff there. I'll take a look at those in just a moment. So we're gonna set this down here, the box off to the side. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so we have the box for the remote control. That's pretty cool. So like I thought, it was optional, and they must have had one in the store and they opened it up. So we've got the operating manual. This looks like miscellaneous, maybe, because it's looks more like something that you would do with records. It's more like for setting up loudspeakers and such. So this probably did not come with this unit originally. And this is for a 4-head and 4-corner access, like a VCR. So this is a Hitachi VCR, which has nothing to do with this. So obviously they just threw that in the box. But I'm glad it does have the service manual. That's really nice. So we'll set that off to the side. So let's take a look at the front. So you've got the indicators, return, you've got fast forward, rewind, pause. This is obviously where the remote control plugs into. So let's look at the back. Get your RF, and then you've got your composite video in and out. Looks like there's just a couple screws on the back and maybe on the sides holding it on. So here in a moment, I'm gonna have to take the top off of this and look, because this has been sitting since the 80s. I guarantee that there's two belts in there, two small belts that are gonna need to be replaced. I don't have those right now. I'm gonna have to order them. So we'll continue this video when we get that far, but I definitely wanna open it up, take a look at what's going on inside before just plugging it in, because we don't wanna risk damaging anything further than might already be a problem inside. So give me a few minutes and I'm going to take the top off and we'll get a look at it. So I got the top off the machine. This one, fairly simple operation. You have a belt here, and then there's a belt underneath this area. I can tell already they're kind of gooey. They're gonna need to be replaced. Luckily, there is a place online at CEDATUM.com, and they sell parts for all CED players. So I am going to have to reach out to them and order the belts. And once I get them in a couple days, we'll resume the video and I'll replace those. And then it'll be time to take it for a test drive and make sure it still works. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those ordered and we'll finish this video up in a day or two. Okay, we're back. Took a couple weeks to organize everything, but I got the two belts that I needed from CEDATUM.com. Again, we'll put that in the description below. I just want to let you know that that site is run by a guy named Josh Gibson, and he knows everything about CED players, the whole history. He's been doing it for years. He's got lots of videos out there on YouTube, so please check out his stuff. I'm still kind of new at this, and I've been using a lot of his videos and assistance as well. But he sent the belts that I needed. I already put them on, but I wanted to go through a brief description on how I did this. So if you want to do this yourself, first thing you need to do is open up this and take out the stylus, because you don't want to ruin that. That's basically the needle that plays on the record and the video disc and get you your picture and sound. And if it gets ruined, you have to buy a new one, and that's if you can even find one. And most of the time you can't. You have to buy a whole new player just to find one. It's very expensive. So you got to treat those really, really, well, like they're gold, because it's hard to find. Okay, so what I did, as you can see, there's the belt is on here. I put it on there. But in order to get it on there, first you have to turn this counterclockwise, and you see this plate going down? You want it to go all the way down. It just takes a few seconds. You'll know when it's all the way down because it'll start getting tight. The belt will start getting tighter, and this won't want to turn. It's almost there. Okay, so it's all the way down. And then there's another one over on this side. It's hard to see from your angle. I'll turn it here. We can get, if you can see down in there. That one you want to turn, actually that one goes clockwise, and you could see the arm will start moving. I'm not going to do it all the way, but it will move far enough out of the way that you can actually replace the belt on that. Okay, so once you've got your belts on, what you want to do is reset everything. Now, the best way to reset everything on this particular machine is to plug it in. So I'm going to do that. And then there's a switch here. Push it. And then you want to hit the return key which is up here. And there, everything is reset back to the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so once you do that, the only thing left to do is to put it all back together. And once we get it all back together, we can take it, hook it up to a TV, and make sure it works. I do want to point out something interesting about this particular machine is there's no on and off button. It's in a constant state of off until you push a disc in. And when you do that, that's what forces this button back and turns everything on and gets it started. So on the front of the machine itself, there is no on and off button. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm kind of learning about this along with you guys. I forgot, I did want to show you guys this so you could see it for yourselves, how it kind of works on the inside. So we're going to take a test disc, we'll stick it in. Now you can hear the motor kicked on. And if you look down in there, you can see that it's spinning. At this point, you push play. And what should happen in theory is the disc goes down and it starts working. It's probably not doing that because the lid is off. I think this might have a sensor on it that tells it not to drop unless there's a unless the sensor's tripped or it's some sort of IR or something. I read somewhere that these machines had that, so that's why it's not going down now. But all I have to do to get it back to starting position is do that and take it off. So we can see that the motor still works, everything works. You see, you get a little look at how the inside is. The only thing left to do now is to test it. So we're gonna pause the video for just a second. I'm gonna get it all set up and I'll see you guys in a moment. As you can see, there was a change of plans. It's been a whole other week. When I went to put it back together, I noticed this stylus arm could freely move back and forth. That's not right. And it took me a while to figure out how to fix it. I don't know if you guys can see, but we're gonna try to put the camera in. There's an orange belt way back in there. Okay, that belt runs the stylus arm, and on the end of the stylus, I'll show you kind of an example. There's like a fork, and you have to weave that belt, kind of like that, the forks through that orange belt. Well, somehow it came undone. It was just sitting on top of it. And in order to get to it, I had to take all of this out. There's lots of little screws and stuff, but I was able to get to the back of it, correct the situation, and put it all back together. So, but that took me a little while. That's why I wasn't able to complete the video right away. But I thought it was important to tell you guys. So if any of you ever buy this machine and this exact model number, that you'll know how to fix it. The two belts are the things you have to worry about the most, but that big orange belt back there does run this stylus, and without that, the player would not work. It's currently plugged in, so I'm gonna demonstrate now. So as soon as you put that in, it starts spinning, and then you push the play button. And it should be working. So let's see if we can see. Oh, let's hit reset. Okay, so we reset it. That's probably why. And see, now this red light over here is flashing, which means it's in pause mode. There we go. Now we hit play, and there it goes. And now you can see the stylus is moving over on its own, which is what it's supposed to do. Also, I'd like for you to listen how quiet this is. This is a really quiet player. Okay, so looks like everything's working now. Everything's the way it should be. So we're going to pause the video here, and hopefully in just a few moments we'll be demonstrating it on an actual TV for the first time. We'll be back. Here we are testing the Hitachi VIP 2000 for the first time. So remember, I told you it's always off. And you think of it like a toaster. It doesn't begin till you push the thing down. Well, on this is the same thing. So we put our movie in. There you see it's on side one. It pops up. Now I want you to look at this. This is a little red light. It goes all the way over. It'll start at 0 and it goes up to 60. So that lets you know there's 60 minutes per side of each disc. So when it gets to the end, you'll have to flip it over. So that kind of tells you where you're at. All right, see our picture came on. So let's step back here and we'll take a look at the opening title screen here. Good. As you can see, we got picture, we've got sound. I'm going to turn this just a little bit. Looks like it's working just fine. Now, I would like to talk about a few things here while we do this. You know, most remote controls devices come with a remote control like this here. This remote is for my RCA. It's a SLT 250. And it's a regular remote. Well, Hitachi decided to do a wired remote. It's plugged into the front. It's got a 20-foot cable. It didn't come with the machine. You had to buy it separately. So this is the box. Whereas this came with the RCA. Why somebody would opt for this machine, knowing that it's got this type of remote control over this time, I don't know. Maybe it was cheaper. I'm not sure what the prices on these were retail compared to the others. But as you will see, the remote works great. And, you know, we can push pause, and it pauses. Push it again, it unpauses. We could fast forward just by holding it in. You can see the red line going across. And also it's got the feature where if you hold down these two buttons at the same time, see the screen, it kind of gives you a pause feature. So everything works great. I just don't know what they did with these really long cords back in the 80s. It seems like it would be a tripping hazard for small children and dogs, and you know, maybe they got creative and drilled through the basement and then came up through the basement over by where they were sitting, so the cord wasn't going across. You know, when the movie's over, if you wanted to put your cord up here, I mean, you can see it kind of just, it's in the way no matter what you do. And also, most people in the 80s wanted to center everything on top of their TV, but with this, you'd have to move it all the way over and run it along the side there to make sure that that it wasn't hanging down in front of the TV. So I just hit the return button on the remote. So now that we know everything's working fine, I'll go ahead and take this out. So again, I want to thank you for watching this video. It took a little while, but we got it up and running. Most people will tell you that the entire CED format is an oddity of the 80s. That being true, then the Hitachi machine with this type of remote is an oddity within an oddity of the 80s. But the picture looked great. It runs really smooth. This is not a player I think I would ever sell, just because I like the uniqueness of it. I like how the remote is unique. It makes for a good talking point, and it does a good job of playing the movies. So there's no reason for me to ever to sell this one. If I came across another one, I would probably fix it up and sell it. But for now, I'm really happy with this one. So overall, I give this one an A+. I love it. If you guys like my videos, please say something in the comments below. And don't forget, if you're really into this format, to go to CEDATUM.com if you need repair advice. Josh is great, and he's got parts for sale. And then of course you can always reach out to me through through this video, and I'll do my best to answer whatever I can. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.